Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from Peace World. Sorry, guys, have a bit of spring allergies.
So, when are Black women gonna hold ourselves accountable for the disgustingness that is coming out of the neighborhood, the disgustingness that we're raising? These children have no respect, they have no morals, no values, and quite frankly, the women don't either. You know, they don't respect the men that they're having these children with, and then they're having children by the same men. So, meaning they have a baby with a man that has two baby moms already. It's disgusting behavior, and they're not able to properly watch their children because they're so focused and on all these external things. They're focused on this celebrity culture.
The nails, the eyelashes, the BBLs.
Sure, and they're focused on getting a Louis bag and going outside and party, but they're not focusing on making sure that their children can read. So Black women definitely need to take some accountability with what's going on in the Black community. And I understand that Black men are not in the homes either, but Black women won't allow them to be. Black women are not agreeable. Black women don't like to listen. Black women are...
Shout outs to you. I don't think very many Black women actually admit that it's women. It's the women themselves that are not allowing these men to be in the kids' lives.
Masculine. These are the problems that we're having in our community. And Black women must take accountability. I'm sorry.
Look, like I always say with these issues.
Look. Here we go. He's going to start with the bullshit again.
I'm just saying, these issues are too big for only one person to be held accountable, or just one person.
Simping. Panderer. Broads in Atlanta.
I'm just saying, should Black women take accountability? Yes. Should Black men take accountability?
Of course.
Yes. Are there systems behind the scenes at play?
Sure.
Do I believe that the destruction of the Black community was systemic? Yes. There is accountability to go around. And when I look at it, accountability and blame are two different words for a reason.
Correct.
They're similar, but they're not the same. Taking accountability for something doesn't mean it's all your fault. It's partly your fault. I take accountability for my role in this situation. Doesn't mean it's all my fault, but I have blame. I have a part to play. We all have parts to play. What we see on the internet, though, a lot of Black women take no accountability.
No.
And I think that's where the problem is. But will I ever sit here and say that it's all Black women's fault? No. If we were to do percentages, then we'll be having a different conversation. But that last part where she said, you guys aren't the most educated, like... For no reason. That wasn't even a part of the discussion. Yeah, she got some beef.
Actually, I kind of disagree with you, P. I think it actually does pertain to what's going on, because when women aren't educated enough for this particular subject, how to raise kids, about what's going on in your community and things like that, it shows. I don't think she means that they're not educated, that they're not smart. No, they're not educated into the things that matter, which would be family building. That's where they're lacking their education.
Yeah, she got some beef. She got some beef going on.
I don't think so.
The problem with Black women is Black women don't listen to no fucking body. They don't respect anybody, and they're very unaccountable, you know, and they're producing these children that they don't even want to date, and that they...
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Is that Myron Gaines? Andrew Tate? He's like cutting this off.
What is going on? I've never...
Who? What kind of...
Those are some nice gold frames, too.
God.
What is...
Yo, listen. I'm gonna be real. I went to my boy's house, and all of a sudden he had a picture of Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines on the wall.
I would think something's a little sus about that, too.
I'm gonna be a bit worried. What's going on? I mean, look, if you're a fan of those guys, cool, but... I'm sorry.
Maybe I got a little tears on
They know it's problematic, but instead of holding themselves accountable and saying that they maybe didn't produce the best child. They rather blame the father for not being there when they wouldn't allow them to be there because they want to be married to the system and they want to get the benefits from being in the system. It is quite disgusting to me. And Black women are never going to be beneficial to the community as long as they keep these attitudes. You're not going to help the community. And the best thing that Black women can do for the community is work with Black men, is respect Black men, is hold yourselves accountable, and, be there for your children. Be parents to your children instead of being in a club,
Okay, this is not really a Black community thing, the mothers not being mothers thing. It's in every community. I've seen it so staunchly. Again, I go to Disneyland. I see the horrible parenting everywhere at Disneyland. I see so many white couples, Black couples, Asian couples. Doesn't matter what couple they are. There's just a lot of bad parenting nowadays because, like I said, lack of education. Like the lack of knowledge. Like people don't go about raising kids the way they used to. Because what do we have? We have so much technology nowadays to help raise our kids for us. We kind of just let the technology do its thing.
Of trying to extort men for money or whatever it is that you guys do. And maybe instead of attacking people because they say hard truths, maybe you should look inward and attack yourself and attack your demons instead of just deflecting and projecting all of this negative energy on everybody else. Okay? The behavior that is coming from Black women is disgusted. And
it always makes me wonder, like 80%, 90% of us have inner monologues, right? Some people don't. Understandable. But the people that do, like the women that do have inner monologues, do their inner monologues never tell them they're doing anything wrong? Like in my head, my inner monologue is constantly telling me I'm doing something wrong, or trying to correct myself and trying to hold myself accountable. What is their inner monologue? I kind of want to, I wish we can go into their minds and just read their inner monologue. What is it telling them to do at times? Do they even understand that there's a voice in there that's kind of like guiding them or something? Or they just think it's just a feeling constantly?
And you guys are not the most educated.
Getting pregnant is a conscious decision. But so many of you guys get pregnant young with nothing to your name. Yes. And you act as if you're a victim. And what really gets me is when you make videos online saying how your baby daddy is a bum, he's homeless, he's crazy, he don't have nothing. Mind you, all of those things were true when you met him and you let him get you pregnant.
Yep.
That does not...
No, I didn't see it. I didn't know. I knew that he didn't have a job.
But I thought he would change. I thought he'd do better.
What I'm saying is he manipulated me and he tricked me into having his baby. That's what I'm saying.
Make him look crazy how y'all think it do. It makes you look crazy because you sat up there and you chose that man as a father for your daughter. It
is interesting how much women bash men about all the things that men do and all this, but they end up staying with these men for years on end. Did you not see all of this bashing that you're speaking of now? Like only after the fact that you're bringing up all these things.
Chose that man as a father for your son. That shows how little regard you had for choosing the parent of your child.
True.
He couldn't even handle the responsibility of being a boyfriend, and you decided to upgrade his responsibility and give him the responsibility of being a father.
Yep.
That doesn't make him look crazy how you think it does. It makes you look crazy. And it shows how little care and effort you put into choosing the father of your child.
No, but what did they be saying? I don't even know how you combat this logically. But men know when they're about to have sex, like they could have a child, so
you should wrap up.
Yeah, I didn't choose him to. I don't even know, bro.
A lot of you girls think you need child support, but you really need to be arrested for child endangerment, child neglect, because you knew that man didn't want.
I try not to talk about this subject too much, about women being horrible mothers and this, because YouTube does not like this. So I'm gonna skirt around this a little bit.
You knew that man didn't want that baby. You knew that man was a narcissist, and so you telling me you wanted your child to have a father that's a narcissist, and you love your baby? I don't even know what narcissists mean, but maybe you the narcissist, sis, because you want a baby more than you want to be good to that baby. Correct. You think a baby is an aesthetic? You think a baby is a companion, best friend? No, you supposed to do what's best for that child, and you can't if you picking the wrong baby daddy. And then the girls that say, oh, I don't even need him. I'll take care of my baby myself. Are you thinking about the abandonment issues this child is going to grow up with? The trauma that you are going to cause? Nope. You traumatized yourself. That's why you even said some stupid shit like that. Yes, he chose to come in you, but you chose to keep it. You could have said, put on a condom. I know that I date niggas that ain't shit. I can do that to myself, but I would never give my child an ain't shit daddy and act like he's the problem. Moral of the story is, men ain't perfect, but ladies, a lot of y'all questionable too. Especially the girl Aisha going through that thing. That man said it clearly in the text. And you said, what?
Something that I can't understand as a grown man is why there are people out there who would want kids, but not want a family.
It's the aesthetic thing. I think it's part of the traditions. I think that everybody was kind of told have a family, have kids, and then women slightly were still programmed with that. So they're like, oh yeah, have kids. That's what I'm supposed to do, and then they do it. They don't think about why they have kids or why they want kids. They were just told, I should have kids. I think women are just so programmed nowadays. They don't think about anything. They don't think about any internals of anything they do majority of the time. I'm not talking about all women here, but, majority of women, they're just so 16-year-olds. They're going to just do what they're told. If someone told them, oh, you should probably just have family and kids, they might do it. But there's also the stupid idiot ones that just like having fun and don't realize that kids is the consequences of having their fun.
Logically, you want the best for your kids. No, you having a family is what's best for your kids.
Damn right.
Logically, you having someone there to help you take care of the kids is going to be beneficial to your mental health. The kids seeing two loving parents is going to be beneficial for them and how they navigate the world.
True.
When I see women making excuses to why they are conceiving children for men who want nothing to do with them, I can't understand it. Why do you even want his kids?
I also agree. This is where, again, I'm not advocating for, child deletion. But, again, women advocate to be able to have this choice so strongly that they've made a whole political movement towards this particular choice, but they always seem to choose to keep it when it's a Chad Roan type that doesn't want to be with them. That doesn't even make sense to me. Why did you choose this right? Like why did you fight so hard for this right, but when it comes down to the important decisions, you always choose to keep it anyways? Might as well just kept the law so you can't have it in the first place, since most of you seem to keep it for this particular reason.
He doesn't want you. Why do you even want his kids? He ain't shit. He's not a nice person. More time he broke. But you're making all these excuses to not do what you know you should have been done. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't think I ever will be able to.
So not all peaches are clean, and rocket pops are, and rocket pops are. Straight men are the least likely demographic of people to get tested for STDs and STIs. You can look that up. You can look that up. A lot of straight men are waiting for the symptoms to pop up in their partner before they go get tested. Or if their partner goes to get tested, they're like, oh, well, shoot, if they're fine, then I must be fine too. Knowing full well that they were doing their own dirt on the side. I really hate this idea that, again, women's hardware is somehow more dirty, more unsanitary.
It is. It gets used more. That's just it. That's like the thing that, again, women love to project that men are out there just slinging penis all over the place, but they're not. It's only the few echelon men. What, like 60% of men are not in relationships, or probably not really dating or doing it like that. So they're not the ones that are just spreading it all around. But when 80 to 90% to almost 100% of women are having sex, then it skews towards women because you're the ones that are just out there doing it more often than men, and with a more variety of men
than what y'all got going on over there. Which is, again, that's crazy because so many of y'all just discovered that you need to wash between your butt cracks with soap like 2 years ago.
Oh, but it is. Oh, but it is. You know, the days of men being dogs and women being, those days are done.
Correct.
Men are going through a male loneliness epidemic, right?
Yep.
30% of men under the age of 30 are virgins. Why are men
60% aren't even in relationships
getting tested who aren't having sex? You know who is having sex? Women. Women are sleeping with more people than men. They're in relationships with more people than men. And you know what happens when you do those things? STDs. And women get STDs more than men.
Correct.
Times have changed. The sexual liberation is not the same anymore. Yeah, some men probably don't shower properly.
Yeah, I mean, I always say it, wash your butt cracks.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that has to do with STDs or whatever the case is, but yeah, women are the sexual gender now. That's what's happened. So you're gonna catch more STDs when you're having more sex.
Yep.
Social media is ruining how you look at relationships, and that is why you will be single forever, okay? Stop listening to these girls online about how a relationship should be and how a guy should be when he is talking to you. It is not true, okay? It is not normal for a guy to buy you a £3,000 to £2,000 bag on a first date.
Who is doing this? Who? God damn, I want that kind of money.
Okay, that is not
just
normal.
drop 3K like that.
It is not normal for a guy to want to fly you to another country on a first date without even meeting him, or only meeting him 2 to 3 times. That is not normal, okay? Snap out of reality and wake up. If you expect these things, you are forever going to be single, and you're going to let a good person who generally likes you go. Stop following these girls on social media about how relationships should be, because somebody is lying. Everybody is lying, okay? I'm not saying that these things can't happen. If it does happen to you, round of applause, well done, but it's not going to happen to the majority of people. If you're below the age of 21 and you were dating, you cannot be expecting these things from someone who's also in school just like you. I'm not saying that you can't expect nice things, but not on a first 1 to 5 date thing.
Below the age of 21? This is what they're doing? Buying someone a $2,000 bag? I ain't even seeing that. That's a different level of delusion.
That's crazy.
But this seemingly is a very young woman. Probably in her like really, really early 20s, 20, 21. And she's making a video based off what she's seeing. And she's seeing a lot of delusion. It's funny how they don't Oh God. 21, 27, 30, 35. It's the same shit. You will hear the same shit. Talking about I mentioned you X, Y, and Z. Ain't that some? Ain't that some?
The future is looking very doomy and gloomy, and I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
True.
Now, we just had a dope discussion highlighting how a lot of the older men are opting out of dating and choosing to be single. But what about the young men out here?
They not even trying. Like, I know a lot of young men not even trying.
I'm starting to see a lot of the young men that are on the right path even say, I'm done with relationships. I'm done with trying to pursue something solid and secure with a woman. Like, that is so terribly bad. Because these are the young men that we need to help build the future generations to come.
Correct. You are right, lady. I am so with you on this. This is why I always push more towards families and, you know, being a good man and, you know, having kids. But again, I'm a man myself. I understand. It's a minefield out there.
These are the young men who would make great husbands, great fathers, so on and so forth.
They would be.
They're like, nah, I'm good. I'm cool. I've seen too much. A lot of them themselves have even been through too much. And that just breaks my heart. And here's the thing. Y'all like the video, share the video, and subscribe. I gotta say this. Here's the thing. Ladies, there is something very telling about our behaviors and the things that we have done to these men, to where we are starting to see a lot of the young men and men in general that we actually need turn their backs. The men who not too long ago would take a chance on you.
Yep.
They were the ones giving you the benefit of the doubt and saying, you know what?
Yeah, a lot of the blue pill men, I'm not going to call them simps, but they're going to be a little bit more blue pilled, that really don't know what's going on. They're slowly stopped trying. They're slowly backing off now too.
Let me try to show you better. Let me try to give you better, and maybe that will help you out to maybe inspire you to change. But that's not happening anymore.
Look, the gender divide has never been this big. And we know the reason. It's feminism, but specifically third wave feminism. That is when the misandry started to come in. It started not to become about equal rights and equality, because women have every single right that a man has. It started to become about hating men and demonizing men. And as that happened, men started to create anti-feminism movements. And the feminism has bled into the politics, and now the liberals, they talk about how bad masculinity is, and the young men are growing up seeing that. What's going to happen? They're going to go to the other side, which is why more young men than ever are now conservative. Very difficult to find someone of the opposite sex now that shares your same values. So men are just deciding to opt out, and there are women who are just deciding to opt out. And it's one of the many reasons why I am for the passport bros. Only if you have good intentions. The guys are going over to just sleep with women. I ain't really got time for that.
Yeah.
But the people that are actually going overseas to find people that have the same value.
I mean, I get so many comments from you guys that have Filipino wives and just Asian wives. I'm proud. Like that's the goal, right? Is to have a wonderful woman by your side to spend the rest of your days with, right? That's the ultimate goal. I mean, kids would be great too, but I think most men just want that, and if you're striving for that, I think passport broing is probably the best choice for you.
Uses them, I'll always be for it, because this climate is difficult.
It is.
Our culture has marriage so messed up. We feel like you shouldn't get married until your body is used up. You done have slept with Tom, Dick, and Harry. You done slept with Pam, Cindy, and Sarah. We feel like you shouldn't get married until your mind is messed up. You done been through the rope with everybody.
I mean, it's hard to say because I got married early and it still things got messed up. So even early marriages can mess up, but I think they end up much better than the later marriages though.
Got cheated on 10 times. Now you don't trust the other gender. And then you don't really get married until you're accomplished in whatever you're doing. So you're side-eyeing this person coming in your life and like, are you here for my money or are you here for me? Gone are the days when you build your life with someone. It's now like you need to be put together in a perfect package before you're with someone. So
I mean, it's how women view men. I don't think men are really like that with women. We just want somebody nice, peaceful.
Waiting until you're in your late 30s, wait until your 40s, 50s. Hey, if that happens, then that happens. But intentionally implanting in the minds of young people saying, hold off, live your life, give your body completely away to everybody that you meet, then get married, is putting the wrong idea in their minds.
Correct.
We need to build together. We need to come up together. We need to have our sexual experiences together. Why do you need to get turned out by 50 men before you marry your husband? And why do you need to bust it down on 50 women before you marry your wife? I think we got everything so twisted.
I completely agree. But here's the thing, right? When it comes to marriage, most people want to have a nice wedding. Right? So there'll be a lot of young people who might hear this and say, well, I ain't getting married anytime soon because marriage is money. It costs money. But you don't have to. You can replace marriage with commitment.
I mean, a good chunk of my friends had backyard weddings. It was very nice weddings, but they were backyard weddings. We saved money. We all hung out together. The boys and the girls, you know, like from high school and things like that. Like, I don't think it needs to be some extravagant $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 event.
Long-term relationships. And I think that's what should be promoted to young people. We should all be dating intentionally as soon as we start dating.
True.
As soon as we start dating, we should be dating intentionally. It's not going to work out for everyone. There's still going to be people that are single at 30.
That's how I went about things. I dated maybe 3 women before I landed on my ex-wife. And she was actually... I think my ex-wife was the 3rd woman, actually.
See, there's still going to be people that situationships, one-night stands, all this shit. And then we just think we're going to snap our fingers and settle. It's not going to happen.
A girl, I saw something too. It was like, imagine a world without men. And then someone was like, well, who's going to protect you guys? Like if the world doesn't have men. And the girl goes, who are you protecting us from?
Animals, other women, studs.
The environment, structures, everything. Floods, earthquakes.
Oh my God. No, go to hell.
Yeah, because we're right.
Firstly, if men didn't exist, animals would wipe women out. They would have been wipe women out before technology, bears and stuff. They would have. Let's be for real. Look, I'm not here for the stunt bashing. I keep it real. Look, shouts out to the stunts, because I know there's a few that watch me. Lesbian relationships, we know they have the highest rates of domestic violence, and what they're gonna try to do is push that on the studs because the studs are masculine.
Yep.
And masculinity is bad, but that just ain't the case, man. It's just not.
Some lesbians will just casually drop that, like, them and their ex-girlfriend used to fist fight each other. Used to get into WWE level brawls.
Yeah.
And they just drop it like it's no big deal. Like, oh yeah, this scar is from when my ex-girlfriend knocked me out and pushed me in a wall and then ran me over with her car.
Yep. They literally speak just like that. I'm just like, wait, take 3 steps back. What happened now?
Take a step back, what? And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised the amount of lesbians that used to beat the shit out of each other. What is going on there? There is no love in that house.
Who's really surprised, though? You know what? I'll take that back. I am surprised because, generally speaking, women aren't overtly prone to violence. When you think about, what the violent gender is.
I think you're wrong, brother. I think women and men are both prone to violence. We both enjoy blood sports. We both enjoy these things. It's just women are just a little bit more overt about it than men are. But I think they're just as violent as men. They just don't, and they don't know how to control it.
Men, that's what you think about. When I hear about lesbian domestic violence, I'm always like, I would have expected like verbal abuse, mental abuse. But maybe there's so much of that on both sides that it just escalates into physical.
Well, remember, P, they've never controlled their anger and their physicality before. They never had to. They've never been trained. Us men have been trained since we were kids to, watch our strength, watch what we do, because we can hurt and harm the people around us. Women weren't taught this, so they just no holds bars, and just start fisting each other. Sorry, that sounded bad. Fighting each other. And they don't even know what they're doing because, again, they've never had to control this before.
They're chirping. And, the more you go back and forth, all of a sudden, the hands get involved.
No, I think both men and women are both very prone to violence very similarly. It's just that men enjoy it overtly. You could tell men enjoy it. Women enjoy it, but they try to hide it, right? And again, we were raised to control and to manage our strength and anger and physicality. Women were never raised to even control anything. Like, what were they raised to? They don't even control their own emotions, so let alone physicality. So once emotions go up to a certain degree, physical is always going to happen. It's just what it is. Same with men. Once we get into a disagreement to such a level, we're almost always going to fight, but we're going to at least try to, not get to that level. Where women, they're going to get to that level almost every time. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Really appreciate that. And I can